Live from downtown Detroit, home of WDIV and Click on Detroit, Local 4 News at 5 starts now.
She goes into premature labor. He has a severe asthma attack because both of them are sick with coronavirus.
Hey, we think we might have coronavirus, but we got to deliver these babies. How do you want us to handle this?
And their day went downhill from there. But there is a happy ending, thanks to some frontline hospital heroes.
All right, Steve, it has gone well beyond a fever and shortness of breath. The CDC now out with 6 new symptoms of the coronavirus. Dr. Frank McGeorge in with showing us exactly what we need to be looking for.
And she says it's getting closer, but not just yet. Governor Whitmer hints at a plan to start reopening Michigan's economy.
We want to begin off the top here on Local 4 News at 5 with the newest statewide numbers, and they are getting encouraging.
432 new cases of coronavirus have been reported in the past 24 hours. That's the lowest number since late March. But sadly, the number of deaths is still far too high, with 92 reported today.
And with the curve, though, getting flatter, Governor Whitmer signaled she may be ready to loosen some restrictions on her stay-at-home order.
Let's get to Rod Maloney live in Lansing, where the governor held a news conference in just the past hour. Rod, we know how it will be done, just not when.
Well, she's setting the stage to get the state open at some future date. She's not giving us any specifics, but she's promising it will come. She's also explaining that it's going to be a slow and steady ramp up with a lot of things that have been built around it. She also said that she wants to extend the emergency, the state of emergency for 28 days, and she's going to be asking the legislature to do that. But let's take a look at what it is that she talked about today, and perhaps the most encouraging thing for many is that she's saying that she's looking at opening construction and other outdoor activities to be announced sometime later this week, but she thinks that construction workers and other outdoor workers are going to be allowed to get back to work at some future date. She also has a fairly sizable advisory council that's been working quite hard on a program to get the state open. They're going to be using a regional approach. They've separated the state into 8 different segments, and they're going to take from the lowest to highest risk for the phase-in of opening up the state. Let's hear from the governor about what she had to say about all of this.
The My Safe Start will be incremental. We'll start with workplace types that pose the least amount of risk. It's really important that we get this right. So the first will be additional outdoor enterprises that we feel pose low risk. We'll also be looking at residential and commercial construction. That industry, for example, will be one of the first sectors to return to work.
Now, one of the things that's transpired here is that the governor wants that 28-day extension, but it looks like she's going to have to go through the legislature to get it. Now, she's going to be meeting with the Republican legislative leaders tonight, and we'll see how things are going. But we heard from the Senate Majority Leader earlier today, he's not particularly happy with the governor, particularly on her delay of opening up construction. So coming up on Local 4 News at 6, we're going to take a look at that chasm that is between them and what is shaping up to be an eventful week here in Lansing. So reporting live from Lansing right now, Rod Maloney, Local 4.
Eventful indeed. Okay, and we look forward to hearing from you again at 6, Rod. Thank you.
The city of Detroit gets help to fight COVID-19 in nursing homes as the city announces today a $400,000 donation from the Vatakuti Foundation to continue COVID-19 testing in senior communities.
The program will extend beyond nursing homes, as the mayor indicated, to really any congregate settings in which elder Detroiters are residing, starting with the assisted living facilities here in the city of Detroit. The components include both testing of residents and staff within these congregate facilities, as well as outreach, and that outreach includes both needs assessments in which so far, the city has been a phenomenal partner on that. We identify needs within these settings, and we're able to address them. We also provide education on infection control, in addition to other topics which the staff really comes to us.
Now, that money will be used to test residents and staff in 100 different facilities across the city, including adult daycares. As we know by now, people infected with the coronavirus can suffer a very wide range of symptoms, and now the CDC has officially added 6 new ones to the list.
And other experts are raising a red flag about another very concerning potential complication. Dr. Frank McGeorge is here to break it all down for us. Doc.
Initial reports out of China focused heavily on the symptoms of fever, cough, and shortness of breath. We've since learned some people can show no symptoms at all, while others develop different symptoms or even rare ones. In addition to the original fever, cough, and shortness of breath or difficulty breathing, the CDC has now added chills, repeated shaking with chills, muscle pain, headache, sore throat, and loss of taste or smell. Making those symptoms official is important because many testing locations still require people to be showing symptoms to get a test. Some patients have also reported diarrhea. The CDC warns you should seek help immediately if you have trouble breathing, persistent pain or pressure in the chest, confusion, or bluish lips or face. Doctors at Mount Sinai Health say they've also seen a 7-fold increase in sudden strokes in younger adults. It's thought the coronavirus could be causing the blood to clot in unusual ways. Some of the patients had delayed seeking help, making matters even worse. There are also growing reports of a phenomenon dubbed COVID toes. Dermatologists were first to note an increase in itchy, swollen, red, or purple toes.
We're largely seeing this in children and young adults. It certainly is also occurring in middle-aged and older adults as well. But most of these individuals are otherwise fine.
11-year-old Landon Rourke developed a COVID toe, but no other symptoms.
It just kept getting worse. And then when I noticed that it went to different toes, so then he had multiple toes that looked the same.
Dermatologists are now tracking the cases to learn more about the potential connection to the coronavirus. I actually saw my first case of COVID toes in a patient over the weekend. Now, going back to the stroke risk, regardless of your age or health, if you experience stroke symptoms like facial drooping, arm weakness, or trouble speaking, you need to call 911 right away. Back to you.
Yeah, very important reminder. We appreciate it, Doc. Devin.
President Trump turns his focus to repairing the economic damage from the coronavirus crisis. A major meat processor sounding the alarm about potential shortfalls in the nation's food supply. That comes as the program aimed at saving small businesses is open for applications again. Alice Barr in Washington with the latest. Alice.
Devin, there are reports today of continued problems with the Paycheck Protection Program as small business owners swarmed the website as soon as it started taking applications again.
As the coronavirus curve appears to be flattening, the Trump administration is turning its attention to lifting the cratered economy. President Trump meeting today with retail CEOs, and applications are open again for the second round of small business loans in the Paycheck Protection Program. Thousands of small businesses were shut out of the first round, while some larger companies did secure loans. Just one of the hang-ups in nearly $3 trillion in relief money approved so far.
It is important that we have oversight to see exactly how all of this is spent.
Democrats are pushing for the next round of emergency aid to include money for state and local governments, struggling to fight the virus and keep paying critical workers from police and fire to teachers. President Trump tweeting today, why should taxpayers bail out what he calls poorly run Democrat states? New York's governor pointing out his state puts more money into federal coffers than it takes out.
Nobody puts more money into the pot than the state of New York.
And there are increasing fears over the nation's food supply. The head of Tyson Foods warning in a full-page newspaper ad, the food supply chain is breaking as meat processing plants across the country are being hit by coronavirus outbreaks and forced to shut down. Tyson Foods saying millions of pounds of meat will disappear from store shelves until its processing plants can reopen.
A county in Indiana that's home to a Tyson processing plant just declared a state of emergency after 1,000 people tested positive for coronavirus. In Washington, Alice Barr, Local 4.
All right, Alice, on Wall Street, stocks closed higher as investors prepare for the possibility of reopening parts of the economy. The Dow closing up 359 points on the day. Both the NASDAQ and the S&P 500 finished up 1% for today. 1 million Michiganders are already getting unemployment benefits. We know there's thousands, though, who are more still struggling to get on their own.
Yeah, and it's important to know even the smallest mistake can keep you from getting your check. Consumer investigator Hank Winchester is here with us now to help answer some key questions about this process. Hank.
Devin, Kimberly, as you both know, it has been a frustrating process for thousands of people all over the state of Michigan. Many people having trouble logging onto the website, calling that phone number, getting kicked off the phone line. Well, we've been getting many of your questions. So tonight, 4 of the most common questions I've been receiving. I know many of you are still struggling, and I read your emails. I know that the process has been challenging, and that's why we're working to answer some of the most common questions. I get this one a lot. How long will it take to receive my unemployment money? Well, it all depends, but typically between 17 and 21 days before you'll see the first payment. If UIA needs further information, that could delay the process. That's why it's essential that you double-check everything before you submit. Another big question, may I work part-time while I collect unemployment? The answer is yes. However, your gross wages may not exceed 1.5 times the weekly benefit. Question number 3, I filed for unemployment but have not heard a response. What can I do? Be patient. I know it's not what you want to hear, but sometimes no news is good news. Remember, it could take at least 3 weeks before that money will be deposited into your account. If UIA needs further information, you will be contacted. Finally, I still can't get through and I'm having issues online. Any suggestions? As of today, UIA has heard from more than 1.1 million Michiganders looking for help. More employees were just hired to answer your calls, and the server has, in fact, been beefed up. The web is still the best bet. Saturday traffic is slow, as well as early in the morning. And I know every time we work to answer some of these questions, I'm sure there's somebody at home that says, well, wait a minute, Help Me Hank didn't answer my question. I'll tell you what, we have a great resource for you online on the Help Me Hank page at clickondetroit.com. Dozens of the most commonly asked questions, resources, information to help make the process a little bit easier for you. The good news in all of it is it doesn't appear that today there were any issues with the web, and there should be at least 200 to 300 more people answering those calls by the end of the week. We're live here tonight. Hank Winchester, Help Me Hank.
All right, Hank, we appreciate it. And we are off and running here on a Monday. Let's check in with Ben.
Kim and Devin, if we could just repeat today for the rest of the week, I think we'd all take it. And for the most part, we will get that. It's what's coming in the middle that's going to be a big headache. And we'll look at that next.
New changes in effect today. What you have to have before you are allowed on a smart bus.
A young couple. She goes into labor with twins 2 months early. He has a debilitating asthma attack, and both, by the way, are sick with coronavirus.
I don't know if it's like maternal instinct that kicked in, but I was surprisingly calm because the last thing that I could afford to do is freak out and get stressed out and not make it to the hospital.